All right, Samantha, so you shot this deer about roughly a year ago. And how many deer, or when did you start deer hunting? How old were you?
I started when I was 10 years old. And I hunted with Dad before that, but that's when I actually started hunting, like with a gun.
All right, what other types of hunting besides deer hunting have you done?
Okay, so I've done turkey hunting and duck hunting. And we just started duck hunting, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago. So I haven't done a ton of that, as much as whitetail. And then turkey, Dad's really into that, so I go with him every year.
All right, so what weapon were you using when you harvested this deer?
I was using a vertical bow. So I was using a Diamond Infinite Edge, and I was pulling back about 50 pounds at the time. So yeah. And then for broadheads, I think there were 3-bladed Muzzies. They were fixed blades.
All right, so explain the chunk of land you were hunting on. Tell me about that.
So it's 10 acres. It's kind of a rectangle, so it's kind of like long and skinny. And we have 3 food plots on it. We have one kind of in the front, one in the middle, one in the back. And we kind of have, I feel like the main trails that the deer take kind of go through the middle of the property. So there's kind of one that comes in from the front, one comes in through the back. And I feel like most of the deer cut through like the whole property. Sometimes they don't, but and we have quite a few stands on there, probably like 7, I want to say, 6 or 7.
Okay, so the days leading up to the hunt, did you see this deer in person or on trail camera prior to getting him?
Not on our property. So we don't remember having him on the trail cams or anything, but right after I shot it, Dad, sent the pictures to all his friends, and it turns out our neighbor, I think he's about 3 miles away, had it on his trail cam. He was kind of hunting him. So, yeah. But we never actually got him on our trail cams.
Okay, so the day you shot the deer, were you by yourself that night? And what was the date and the time and the conditions?
Okay, so yes, I was by myself. It was November 18th, I believe, of last year. And it was very cold. I remember I was freezing my butt off sitting in the stand. It was probably about 20 degrees. And there was snow all over the ground. And I believe it was snowing at the time. And it was super windy, I remember. Because I remember sitting in my stand, it was creaking back and forth. And I was just sitting there bundled up and just wanting this hunt to be over because I was just so cold.
Okay, so now explain the hunt in detail as you remember it.
Okay, so as I said, it was super cold, and I remember it was probably 5 to 10 minutes before shooting hours were done. I was just sitting there freezing, literally just praying for the minutes to go faster because I was so cold. And I remember I was just freezing, and I see this deer. I want to say I first saw him, he was 60 yards away. And I could see him pretty well because of the snow. I didn't know it was a buck at first because there was some brush too. And I'm like, oh, there's a deer, yes. I saw something because I hadn't seen anything before he came out. And I think I was only hunting for probably an hour and a half maybe. And so I'm like, oh, there's a deer. And I couldn't tell what it was. And he starts walking up, kind of on our deer trail that kind of cuts through the property. And he's heading towards the scrape. So I don't remember seeing his antlers at first at all. I remember thinking, I'm oh, it must be a doe because I can't see his antlers at all. And he kept walking, and then suddenly I stood up to get ready because I didn't know if I was gonna shoot it or not. And suddenly he walked out, and I was oh my goodness, that's a really nice buck. I just didn't realize it, and because it was brushy and stuff. And so he walked up to the scrape, which was I think it was about 20 yards away. So. But I knew he was gonna cut a little bit closer, so I just waited. So I went up to the scrape. He peed, kind of did stuff. Hung out probably for 20 seconds, I want to say. And then he kept walking, and this whole time I'm wow, that's a decent buck. I actually didn't realize how decent he was until after I shot him, because I think I was probably kind of nervous and I was just focused on shooting him. And so he kept walking. He got a little bit closer, and so then I drew back, and he didn't stop. He just was cruising through the woods on his way. He was didn't really know anything. So then I made a noise, made him stop, and he looked up, and then I let the arrow go. And right away I could tell it was a good shot. And then he did a huge kick, took off, and then I saw him land. I want to say it was probably 50, 60 yards away. So yeah, and then this is all happening I shot him 5 minutes before shooting hours were done.
Right, so just to clarify, so you didn't, it happened so fast you didn't really get all worked up or buck fever beforehand, or did you get more excited afterwards, or?
Not really. I didn't really get super nervous or anything. It just happened super fast. Like from the time I saw the deer till I shot it was probably like, I want to say 40 seconds. I mean, because he spent like 10, 20 seconds at the scrape, but he was just kind of walking my way pretty fast. So I remember getting excited afterwards, obviously, but I don't remember like shaking a ton or anything. I was just like, I knew he had gone down, so I was just excited.
Right, so hunting wise, do you have any other future goals? Or like a dream hunt or type of hunting that you'd like to do in the future, maybe that you haven't tried yet?
I'd probably say maybe elk hunting. That's something I've kind of always thought about that'd be really cool to do. But I'd say my main like hunting passion is whitetail hunting. That is my go-to hunting that I really love. But I think it'd be cool to go out elk hunting someday or something like that.
All right, congratulations on your buck. You're also passionate about your faith in Jesus. Is there something that God has put in your heart that you want to share?
So I kind of want to talk about this past hunting season and I guess probably some of my struggles. So obviously last year I shot this decent buck and I was really thankful at the time, obviously. I was really excited. And I kind of felt like going into this hunting season, like my goal was just to shoot another big buck, which I know that's not bad to have that goal. And like, I mean, that's kind of like, that's why a lot of people hunt. It's fun. You can shoot a big buck. But I've kind of felt like it was making it like an idol in my life, as in like, if I don't shoot a decent buck, I'm not going to be happy. Or like, I need to go hunting all the time in order to make this happen. And I kind of, I think, I want to say it was like October, and I've been hunting like a lot. My parents were kind of like, hey, we kind of see like there might be a problem here. Because I wasn't balancing like work and school correctly. Like I was taking way too much time to go hunting. And I realized that I was literally chasing after this thing to make, because I thought it would satisfy me. I was chasing after this buck or another buck because I thought it would satisfy me. And I think it's just a never ending cycle. I mean, you can really see it with hunting. Like every year this person, even if they shoot a massive buck, they want to get a bigger one. They want to shoot another one. It's never ending. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, as in, it doesn't have to be hunting. It could be the perfect family, it could be the newest car or phone or whatever. And it's never ending, but truly like only God satisfies us. And I feel like I really saw that this past hunting season, as in like literally we have a God-sized hole in us as humans, and only God can satisfy that and fill that. We try to put everything into it, like hunting, cars, perfect families, and it never works. So I would just encourage you, if you're searching, go to Christ.